More than 70% of the colleges today do not have a website. They don't come up on search. You don't even know colleges are there. Bangalore, for example, has roughly 1300 colleges offering undergrad of various specializations. Being in Bangalore for the last 40 years, I cannot tell more than 20-25 names, right? And 1300 is a lot.
What is some of the other things that you guys are doing just to, make that app very exclusive? No one can come up and make a similar app like that, right?
What we want to do, keeping data as the underlying layer, is that we want to make it seamless for a student to go through an unbroken student journey. Right from making a course all the way till placement. There are a whopping 650 plus specializations available across streams. Our time, if you go to engineering, there are probably 5 or 6 broad streams, right? Electronics, computer science, mechanical, civil. You'll be surprised to know that BSc today has 146 specializations. Just to explain it to you, we have gone through various cycles of changes, right? Like beginning of the 20th century, it was more like governments making a call for the individual, where you had to go to a government job to be like really earning and all of that. From there, it came to the private companies, wherein there were like a lot of private companies where you had to get in and then make a living out of it. I think now it has come to an individual level. Individual has to assess what he or she is good at. There are umpteen options available. Whatever you do, as long as you are in the best in that particular thing, you have an amazing career. You can't be so specific that you will be kind of not usable in few years, right? So if your fundamentals are strong, you can adapt to any particular scenario.
What are some courses that you feel are most demanded in the next coming years? Prasad, welcome to Not Knowing Podcast. Thank you so much for doing this. So I just wanted to understand what you are building with Appli is something that I faced when I was, applying for my colleges also. So you go to a college, you attend their program for 1 hour, 2 hours, then you make a decision. Then, meanwhile, you also miss a few other colleges, and, the ability to get a new course or maybe, figure out something that I might like gets very difficult. So what is something that you're solving with Appli?
So one of the key things that I found, especially when making a choice, is that we have too little information and too little time. And it's like a life-changing kind of stage, right? When you typically get into something like undergrad, that's where your base is built for your future. And you need to have adequate time to make this decision, and you need to have adequate information, right? So 2 things that we started solving is, one is information provided in a structured way, because information is not available today. We think all the information is available. You can Google for anything. You know what the challenges are with Google. First of all, that information is not at all there in the digital form today for Google to index it. Second is there's a problem of scale. Like everybody cannot come up in page 1. You know what is the challenge there. So people do not have access to information. Second is we are spending more time on rudimentary things like making an application, trying to find out where the college is, what they're trying to do and all of that. We have crunched all of that to a very short cycle, wherein you will be able to find information, go ahead and apply, take the time to talk to people, understand what is better, and then make a choice.
Okay. And how did you arrive at this problem? Like what personally, you felt or maybe you saw growing up? What was that problem that, made this decision?
So I have a significantly long career on the technology side. Especially I saw the explosion around applications, cloud infrastructure, built a lot of products both in B2C and B2B. So every day I think like a product manager when you go out there, right? You'll be looking at problems and how it can be done more elegantly. 2 triggers that kind of got me. One was something when I was trying to apply for my own daughter.
Okay.
After school, I was looking at what colleges are there. I was shocked to see that I don't even know the colleges in my vicinity. Like I said, I thought everything is available. I'll just go to Google Maps, see what is nearby, go ahead and then do. And the other thing is also that over a period of time, the brand value itself, right, kind of diminishes. What used to be a great college few years back, a decade, I graduated 20 years plus behind, right? So after that, a lot of things have changed. There are new colleges that have come in, new courses that have come in and all that. I didn't find a central place where I could get this information. Second is reaching that college itself became a difficult thing. Then I thought if you're talking about Gen Z, Gen Alpha, all these people, where for them everything is at the fingertips, right? You expect a notification.
Yep.
Coming in. It also happened that somebody that I knew in my circle, she missed her seat because she did not go to check the website regularly.
Okay.
That was expected. Because what was in the physical world has been faithfully carried on to the digital world. When we used to go to college, we had to go to the college to see first list. Okay, your name is not there in the first list. After a week, there used to be a second list. We had to go and see that. What we did was we faithfully translated that to digital. Now, the website has similar this thing, wherein you have to go to the website, keep looking if your name is there or not.
Yeah.
Then she missed the seat because there was no notification. Couple of days she missed and she was not able to get through. So I thought, why not make it instant? Like wherein if you're able to order food easily, book a cab, do everything on the mobile phone, why not something important like college education?
Yeah.
Where you just apply to the college, wait for their notification to come. Yes, you're shortlisted, come in for an interview. Okay, you can come in and visit the campus, all of these, right? So I thought, applying my product manager kind of a hat, right? How do we make it easier for Gen Z to find information and apply easily? That's how Apply was born.
Oh, that is very interesting, because I feel this is something that, everyone faces. So as I mentioned about my problem also, right? So my mom was actually attending the orientation. I was, being taught about the course structure and what all the facilities are available in the college, because students get attracted through that, right? This has a swimming pool, this has a lawn, this has a gym and everything. And my mom was actually going through the course structure,
Yes.
which I feel was very disconnected, because I need to know what I'll be learning and then take a decision on my career, right? So do you feel that gap also exists, that the information from the colleges itself is packed in such a way that it lucrates certain facilities, certain amenities, and not focus on the actual education part?
That is also true, but I feel there is a bigger problem out there, which probably me and you, who come from a background where we have access to information, we don't even realize. In fact, most of us don't even realize what is the problem on the ground. Problem statement is something like this. More than 70% of the colleges today do not have a website. Okay. If there's no website, consequently, they don't come up on search. You don't even know colleges are there. Bangalore, for example, has roughly 1,300 colleges offering undergrad of various specializations. Being in Bangalore for the last 40 years, I cannot, for whatever it's worth, tell more than 20-25 names, right?
Okay.
1,300 is a lot out there.
A lot of colleges.
And what is happening is government is increasing the gross enrollment ratio. The number of people who are entering graduation itself or that particular thing is doubling in the next few years.
Okay.
Education has become aspirational. It is not like us where our parents went to college and we know where to apply, how to apply. There's nothing. Previous generation didn't even know what college is. They are aspiring to get education and they want information and they don't have anybody to go to.
Yeah.
How do you structure this information and make it available to people is a core problem statement. Right?
Yeah.
And if you look at it from a stats perspective, roughly less than 1% get into the elite institutions, IITs, IIMs of the world, right?
Yeah.
The next 5% are the top tier, your NITs and the top colleges, right? Roughly another 8 to 10% is the tier 2, or which kind of are the best ones out there, right? So even if you add up all of this, 15 to 18% is what is completely structured. I mean, nearly 80% of the colleges out there don't even have visibility today.
Yeah.
And it is not that, it's not easy, right? You have been in the digital kind of space. It's not easy for somebody to get visibility. There's a college which has a NAC A++ rating. Their college fees is around 40,000 per year. Do you think they can afford a digital marketing team? They can afford a technology team to build a fancy website
Definitely
to give them the facility? For somebody coming in from periphery of Bangalore, if you look at Hoskote, Dodbalapur, all of these regions, Kolar and all of that, right? How will these folks even have access to this information?
Yeah.
It's a very fundamental problem which most of urban folks are not even aware of it.
Yeah.
We always look at it from our lens, but India is changing significantly. How do you make this information available and make it easy for tier 2, tier 3 folks to find it and come in, right? Is the key thing. While it will also cater to people like you're saying, right? Where it's not just amenities, what is it good at?
Yeah.
Because top 10 colleges doesn't mean anything. Like what is top to you may not be top to me, right? I may be interested in sports. My interest may be music.
Yeah.
Do I know that the college has music clubs?
Yeah.
Does the website reflect all this information? I don't think so. What is the quality of faculty? What is their background?
Yeah.
It is important to start doing your research early.
Yeah.
That's how we have structured Appli.
Yeah. So if you would, want to give a roadmap for a student who's just, in his or her 12th and, is starting to look for colleges, right? So what do you maybe suggest them as a roadmap, right? So that they can, make that process easier for them. Go to Appli first.
Sure. Not that. So Appli will probably be one of the ways in which to do it. Otherwise also, we are moving towards more like, we are going through modernization of education. Most of the things that are coming in is more like how it was in the West long time back, right? You have multidisciplinary specializations available. You can have a major and a minor. Right, there are varieties of courses available. With NEP coming in, I was mentioning there are 650 plus specializations available. So there is something available to match the interest needs of every individual.
Yeah.
Earlier, what used to happen was it was all in buckets, right? Okay, you're interested in science, you do engineering or medical. Okay, not then a BCom with a CA, or if it is arts, you just do BA and then get into law or something like that. This was generally accepted.
Yeah.
But with the explosion of courses today, there are so many options available. So students also need to prepare like in the West now. What happens is start about 6-8 months early, even when they start 12th, right? Start identifying what their interests are and start shortlisting colleges that match their interest needs, right? Go through them. What I suggest is have like a 2 or 3 tiers of colleges, right? Like where aspirational set, where you see it's difficult to get in, but I have a chance of doing that. Then there is a safe choice wherein I mostly think I can get in. And then something else.
Like a backup.
Backup, right?
Yeah.
And then start adding them to the respective buckets, right? Start thinking about that. I think we have to get out of this mindset where we generally think that after exams is when I start thinking about it. Not even after exams, after results. Yeah. After results, you have 2 months wherein nearly 3-4 crore students will all be looking at this and it's chaos.
Yeah.
Right? Start early, make it more methodical and explore what options are there. The problem today is students don't even know that there is a menu.
Yeah.
If you get into a restaurant and don't have a menu, you'll always go with the default choice, which is not the thing, right? You need a menu. Start exploring the menu while you're preparing.
Okay.
Because the emphasis is not just on exams today. It's about the holistic view of what you have.
Yeah. And you talked about, students being placed into these buckets, right? I agree that, if you are a grader, you'll be doing medical, then you can pursue engineering. Then if you are a B grader, then you go for BA, BComs, as you mentioned, right? What are some courses that you feel are really under valued but would be most demanded in the next coming years?
So I think overall, if you look at it from a nation's perspective, right? Or even global perspective, I call this the most unprecedented time. Like there are options for everybody, right? It's not enough anymore that you get into a mass. Just to explain it to you, we have gone through various cycles of changes, right? Like beginning of the 20th century, it was more like governments making a call for the individual, where you had to go to a government job to be like really earning and all of that. Governments used to take that call. From there, it came to the private companies, wherein there were like a lot of private companies where you had to get in and then make a living out of it. I think now it has come to an individual level. Individual has to assess what he or she is good at. There are umpteen options available. In fact, in movies, you see that, right? I mean, there are dialogue which says, "Ghas kaatne wala bano, bhala ghas kaato." So it is like that. Whatever you do, as long as you are in the best in that particular thing, you have an amazing career.
Okay.
So I don't believe in this bucketization kind of a thing. But then broadly, if you look at it, right, India is expanding as a production hub from various perspectives, right? There's manufacturing coming here in a big way. There are lots of opportunities there. Something that caters to the population, like healthcare, for example, is a basic thing out there. And there are various roles. It's not just as a doctor or a nurse, right? There are various roles in between. Healthcare economics, healthcare management, right? Technology management in hospitals, operation theatre technology, respiratory tool technology. There are lots of diplomas and degrees available there. Education is also booming, right? Wherein you have various roles. Teacher is not just a straightforward thing now. I mean, there are various flavors to that. In manufacturing itself, if you look at it, semiconductors is coming in a big way. There are lots of options available. I think in engineering, people don't know that there are various things now. Data handling itself is a big thing. Everything depends on data. You have to go back to the fundamentals now. Handling data, handling infrastructure. Cloud engineers are in demand. How do you put infrastructure out there for all the apps to scale? How do you maintain data? Data security, right, is a key area. So the way you want to look at it is, the mass is kind of exploding now. We have to go back to the fundamentals, like data, infrastructure, manufacturing, and then build it up from there. We used to look at the leaves, I would say root and the leaves, right? There's a root, trunk, and then the leaves. Leaves are like the jobs, actually. When you look at it outside, I go to talk to a lot of 12th standard students across the state now. Wherever I go, I said, what do you want to become? They say, I want to become an engineer. What engineer? AI/ML. Everybody thinks AI/ML is the next thing to do. AI/ML is like a leaf, like it's like an application of what you learn. Go back to the fundamentals, learn computer science, look at databases, operating systems. How do you structure this? AI happens to be one application of that. It's a use case. Right?
Okay.
Build like that. So I mean, I could go on. I mean, there are lots of ones across science, commerce, and arts which are in demand. In fact, there's a whole list of it. I could go through that.
Yeah. What do you think about AI though? Like, as you mentioned, right? This is just one aspect, and this is a take that I have, heard from you as of now. But people are very scared about AI. Like, for example, first of all, the jobs being going away, right?
Yeah.
That is one thing. Second of all, the information is so readily available. If I can go to just ChatGPT, Google, I'll just use ChatGPT to get top 10 colleges of Bangalore, right?
Yeah.
What do you think is the problem there? Because I can put in a prompt, I can get the list of colleges, right? And also, I'm also at the end scared that okay, AI is going to take my job, right? So it becomes, I think, cool for the people to say that okay, I want to do engineering in AI ML, right? So that lack of education is something that I feel is also a big problem here, right? So, and I also saw your post that you were in a school talking to 12th standard, as you were saying. How important does that become to educate the right people? Because again, once you are building this company, right, that education motive is one aspect of it, right? You also have to cater to the audience that is coming to your app. But again, the awareness and the education is something that I feel a lot of people miss out on. So why do you think that is very important?
So one of the ways of looking at it is, back in history, right, when guns came in, there were people fighting with swords, and a bunch of them came with guns and then shot all them down.
Yeah.
It's not that they didn't work hard; they were working hard. They were superbly kind of experienced with the skill of managing a sword, but it didn't work at that point because it was already modernized and there were guns that have already come in. A rough example, right, to quote. What we need to now think is, the underlying landscape today is very different from what it was a decade back or even 5 years back, right? So the tools and techniques that worked for us earlier will not work for us anymore. So why it is very important is just to get those people to relax and say there are lots of options available. First of all, the teachers need to be aware what options are there. It is beyond just completing a syllabus and getting them ready for an exam, right? Exam marks do not really mean a lot today. Because as a combination of skills, you can get so much that you can learn a lot more than from standard institutions today.
Yeah.
And it is moving towards that, wherein you as an individual, if you're interested, you can combine things and make your learning at a much higher level than what you'll learn in the class.
Yeah.
So it is very important for us to tell students that relax. You first spend time analyzing who you are and see what aligns with your interest.
Yeah.
Making that apparent is the critical thing, because I also have a take on this whole unemployment thing that is going on, right? I have a slightly different take after I started engaging with students. I feel being from the industry, right, last 10-15 years, it is very hard to fill roles.
Okay.
In any company that I've been across, when I was in engineering or marketing or even operations for that matter, right, it is very hard to find people. It's not because, they're not skilled is one thing, but why are they not skilled? It is because they don't like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody told them that engineering is good, just become an engineer. And they're there. I mean, he or she is an artist by heart. He or she likes numbers. They want to play around with this thing, right? But they are forced to write a program. They cannot be good engineers.
Yeah.
They rather be that artist or the finance professional that they want to be, right? Consequently, what happens is they are not aware of what they're doing and they don't skill themselves. It's not a problem with industry or the education system here.
Yeah.
So getting people to start thinking on those lines is the critical thing today. And it starts at the school level.
Okay. And as a founder, I think it becomes really important to engage with students, right? From a perspective also. And since you also wear the hat of a product manager, right? So again, I think you can pick up problems from there. And I'm sure you're doing that also. Okay, so talk to me about AI courses, right? So I see a lot of ads, I see a lot of courses coming up from AI, right? And even on AI and even on YouTube, the information is readily available. Do you feel the value of college education or a professional degree would perish away once this is readily available on the internet, right? Because anyone and everyone thinks that I can, again, as we talked about, like I can go to ChatGPT, I can go to YouTube and I can learn a certain skill. Do you think the value of professional education will go down?
I don't think so.
Okay.
In fact, nothing can be more wrong than that. Because what happens is when I go to a class, right, and ask students what options they think are there in science and commerce and arts, information is all there. They have Google, they have ChatGPT, they are always on Instagram. Everybody is like looking at information. Just having access to information itself is not the right thing, or it doesn't help solve the problem. You need to be nudged by somebody to look at it in the right way.
Okay.
You go here, do the search and get this information. This is what it entails. There's a human touch involved. That cannot happen just by self-learning. There are a lot of people like Ekalavya who can just look at something and then learn. I mean, there's a percentage of population, but it's not for the masses. It's not that it's not doable. Just to think that everybody, we moved from one extreme to another, right? Where everybody had to go to college, and if you're a dropout, you're not looked at it with respect, right? That is not true. We realized there are a lot of dropouts who can make it big, is what we saw. But that itself is not a fashion. Like dropping out itself cannot become the precursor for building something.
Yeah.
It's horses for courses, whatever works for each. What college does is it gives you an environment where you can talk to peers, you can talk to teachers. You are in an environment where this decision making becomes much more structured and goes over a period of time.
Yeah.
This whole thing about self-skilling and them will not work for everybody.
Okay. And we talked about students choosing their courses. What can a parent do here, right? So again, my child is, let's say, looking out for a lot of courses, and then they are, faced with this decision paralysis that, okay, these are the so many courses. Let's say we talk about Appli only. I come to Appli and I see so many courses, right? And as a student, I'm confused now. So as a parent, how can I help them?
So one of the first thing that you need to do is keep your, biases aside.
Yeah.
Generally, as parents, we go in with a bias, right? Like we have our view of the world. As generations change, so many things change so quickly that whatever was applicable to you is not applicable to you anymore. I think first one is to see that the bias is not there. Look at it with a neutral standpoint. Allow the student to make a choice while providing some guardrails for decision making. Because it can also go on the other extreme, wherein the student is so confused that he or she is not able to pick anything up.
Yeah.
Right? Maintaining that balance is the key. Just remove your biases, but be part of this process so that you can guide the student towards the right. Help them make a decision. Give them a framework for decision making.
Okay. And if we talk about the non-conventional courses, right? Maybe let's talk about design. I feel even design is very undervalued as of now.
Yeah.
People are picking it up, but it is very undervalued. What are some courses that you can just, pinpoint, maybe relate to AI? Maybe just give me, let's say, 3 courses that you feel would be very much valued in next 5 years.
So I think at a course level would be too kind of narrow to say, I mean, these are the 3 things. In fact, we should not overly generalize that, that, saying that all 3 things that are there. Like I said, we should always go back to the fundamentals. I feel design is very valued today. If you take design as an example, right? Everything that you do today starts off at the design, whether it is at fabrication, if you look at design of chips, all the way to designing applications, right? Or designing your whole, an interior or a factory or anything, right? Everything starts design first, because that's where it kind of goes there. But what students are not aware today is, okay, you have a design inclination. What all options are available for you?
Yeah.
We need to see that. Bachelor of Design, especially talking about UI UX, is in vogue today. If you want to be a UX designer, there are lots of options today. In fact, companies don't have enough talent today.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a user experience designer. Whether you're building a back end or a front end or anything, right? You need to have the design aesthetics in place. And there are not a lot of people available out there. Design is one part. Anything to do with data today, right? Data handling. How do you build in data pipelines, get them to a data lake? How do you start drawing insights out of it, right? Something around data is a key thing. The other slightly, this thing is again in mass, healthcare is what I would feel. Health economics is picking up in a big way. Then hospital management itself, right? There are lots of courses available out there. Hospital technology is a big area that people can focus on.
Okay.
So something that impacts a lot of users at a fundamental level.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you look at this problem as a value that you are providing to the society, right? That you are helping students choose their career very easily, right? That is also something that you have it as a tagline, right? Okay. So when I come to the business aspect of it, right? How difficult it is to be ethical while building a business in this space and also being true to the purpose that you are driven because of?
I feel it is not, if you keep that as your fundamental building blocks. Because if you start with that fundamental, right, every decision of yours will be based on that. Why we kind of get derailed over a course is because you have to take decisions that doesn't align with your core strengths. For example, if you have to be ethical, does the market exist for that? Like there has to be a mass. Today, if you look at it, there's nothing bigger than education, right? There's whole lot, nearly 4.5 crore students getting into undergrad every year. It's a huge market. Every year, there's a new set of students coming in, and they have a genuine problem. There are nearly 45,000 colleges in the country. 4.5 crore students, 45,000 colleges is like so much of demand in the market. And there's a lot of slack in the system as well. Today, anybody doing small thing also is able to make a lot of money with that.
Yeah.
But then you need to have the patience, start building brick by brick and stay true to that. It is not easy, I'm saying, but it's not very hard also, as long as you keep your focus. Don't make it too many and have a utopian view of the system.
Yeah.
But I think the system is like that, if you see. I mean, the way, it's just the vibration that you have to be in, and people with the similar thing will start aligning with you until it becomes a mass.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll talk to you about from a lens of an entrepreneur, right? So as an entrepreneur, why, like, what do you think is the most common problems that the entrepreneurs face and they fail? Like people do fail, right? When they're starting a business or a company, right? What do you think are the key problems that they fail at?
One of the key things that I have found out is simplification. For example, you as a user or of this thing, you have faced a difficulty and you think that's a big enough problem to solve, and just venture into it without knowing what the ground reality is. Right? That is one of the key things. People are not aware of what all challenges exist in a particular industry unless you get a dipstick of what it is, right? That is where people who have been in the industry long enough, who have realized that there is a problem statement and then have started companies, are better off in that, right? Otherwise, if you're coming in fresh into an industry, take time to understand what the problems are before diving in full into that, right? And also have an iterative and a scalable model. We feel suddenly one day we wake up and we'll be entrepreneur the next day. It's not like that. It's an ongoing journey, right? I was talking to a bunch of MBA grads the other day. I was saying mastering business administration itself is a lifelong journey. Just because you have an MBA degree doesn't mean you're a master of business administration. You start becoming a master over a period of time. So have that buffer to go iteratively. Plan your resources. Most of the people in that entrepreneurship also has its hype cycle, right? You have your peak of expectation. Suddenly you go through the trough of disillusionment. It has to enter into a stable phase. And it will take minimum 3 years. Budget yourself for that. Right? Have a window of 3 years at least that you will persist whatever you're doing. So just to summarize, don't get in just because you feel there is a problem. Understand the market, see what the market demand is, plan your resources accordingly, have patience to wait it out for a period of time.
And coming back to Appli, what do you think you guys are building that, if I just oversimplify it again, so it is an app that has colleges where people can choose from and find out the courses that are available.
Correct.
Right? What is some of the other things that you guys are doing, just to, make that app very exclusive, right? So that no one can come up and make a similar app like that, right?
Sure. I mean, there are lots of things that we are doing. Fundamentally, what we want to do is we want to solve student journeys in an unbroken way. Today, if you look at it, there's a place where they'll go and find courses. They'll come back. They'll have to look for websites. They'll go there, understand the application process for each apply. After they've got an admit, they have to go to a bank and then see they need financial aid. After that, they need to go to a particular place to find accommodation because not everybody gets into a hostel. Then after that, over a period of time, they have to see what other supplementary courses are there and then get into an internship and then finally go to placements. What we want to do, keeping data as underlying layer, is that we want to make it seamless for a student to go through an unbroken student journey, right? From making a course all the way till placement, right? And that is what we are working on. And I feel that is what is needed today. Any other industry, if you look at it, there are lots of things where you have an unbroken student journey. You go into a travel booking app, for example, you book here to kids, they say, okay, you don't need hotel. You have the hotel thing, you need accommodation, whatever, your cabs. All of that is seamless on a particular single thing. That's what we want to do with Appli. When a student has to just come in here for the purpose of finding colleges, is very, very specific to your future.
So a lot of times I feel when we were talking about these travel apps, right, I am being pushed certain sponsored places that I can go to, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe a certain website, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that hampers the nature of this business, right? When you are solving for education, right? If a college has the money, right?
Yeah.
So we are saying that that can be replicated on your app as well.
Yeah.
Since if I have the money to put it on Google Ads, right, I can be the top college that anyone searches, right?
Sure.
People can apply to
Sure.
it, right? What is something that Apply would do to maybe restrict that problem? Because as a business, you also have to make money, make revenue, right? But what is something that you would ensure that the student doesn't get, very cornered into one choice making?
Right.
Maybe dark patterns, like people use dark patterns in their ads,
Sure.
right? Yeah.
So again, goes back to the fundamentals. What happens is the business has to have a core purpose of being on this particular place. So in our case, if you see, there are three kinds of possible things, right? Either you be for student, for colleges, or then for profit, and then the money thing, right? Where that takes the center stage. What the heads that we are taking is we want to be student first, wherein we provide the genuine, transparent data to students, right? Help them make a choice while building a commercially viable enterprise.
Yeah.
Because when a student is interested and they come to colleges, have enough demand now. I mean, like I said, the whole enrollment itself is set to double. Colleges will not double over the next. There's enough demand from the market. Colleges also understand this. It is not that everybody needs to be visible to everybody. It is the specific matching thing that is there.
Yeah.
So as a company, Apply will always be student first. Whatever calls that we take will be student first. So answering your question, we have made certain decisions that we will not have paid listing on this. When I say paid, nobody can pay to be on the top.
Oh, that is...
Our algorithms do not work like that. There's no ads that we will have on the platform. Somebody cannot have just an ad out there.
Very interesting.
Currently, the way we rank colleges is based on certain things like NAC rating and ARF rank and your year of establishment. Because all three parameters we felt are critical.
Okay.
As we go in, our backend itself has expanded so much that now we'll be able to kind of see how valuable a college is by looking at the data that they enter. I mean, that's where the AI piece comes in, right?
Yeah.
So overall, we are investing in making it student first.
Okay.
Our business model is never based on making money wherein we have to push anything, be it courses, colleges, or even education. We give transparent information, give tools for students to make a call. It is just like Google in the hands of student, right?
Okay.
We are saying we are Google for education, for example, wherein they'll come find the right information. They are the ones who will take a call.
Okay.
We don't push them towards anything. Wherever we are giving a result, also we are telling them why we are giving that, so that they can alter the filters and change the results that they want.
That is very nice, because once you're keeping the core mission at hand, right, I think money will flow in from somewhere or the other, right? I'm sure you'll have your revenue streams, right? But no, that is one thing that I was very keen on asking, that if there are sponsored colleges that are present on the app. But that is good that you're taking that call.
See, educational institutes are also, we think, I mean, everybody is out there to make money or something like that, right? While they also have to make money to be sustainable, the industry is not so at that extreme also. Because marketing today has become karmic, if you see, right? You to be visible in the market, you have to do good things. You have to do good things on a consistent period of time. Only then people will start talking good things about you, and you will also go up as a brand.
Yeah.
Everybody understands today.
Yeah.
So it is not the only ones who pay a fees are welcome in the college. There are different kinds of people who need to get into a college. Colleges are very well aware that they need to deliver academic excellence. They need to place them in the right places, give consistent environment over a period of time for them to become popular.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can't keep spending year on year just on the marketing side. It will not work also. In this age of social media, if you can't be visible like that over a period of time, you have to build your brand.
Yeah.
And that can happen through good students.
Okay.
And they are open to this as long as you are uniform with everybody.
Yeah.
If you tell certain colleges that you don't pay and you take money from others, they are not okay with it. You don't take money from anyone, they're okay.
If you don't mind me asking, how will you make money with Apply?
We have a two-pronged revenue model from a money-making perspective. There is a convenience fee that we take from the students.
Okay.
Students don't need to even put in their passport size photograph, which would cost about 50 rupees today, or take any Xerox copies of their documents. Everything is pulled digitally and it's available in their profile. We are taking 25 rupees per application from a student, which is nominal to a large extent. And with scale, we feel this will work out. And what we do is we provide visibility to the colleges. On every successful application, we take a percentage of the application fees, not the admission fee, the application fee from the colleges.
Okay. Okay, so this is just the platform fee. Post that would be obviously the admission fee for the college for the
Yes,
first student.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay, understood. No, that is very interesting. And I also read that you also refund the fee if the application doesn't go through. That is
yes,
also something that you
yes,
do.
yes.
Oh, that is very interesting.
Not in a way that, see, it works exactly like how it is today. What we have done is, once a student submits an application, the application money is in an escrow account, right? The college has to acknowledge the application that I have received the application.
Okay.
Only then the money goes to the college. Within 48 hours, if they don't acknowledge, we refund back the money to the student saying that college is not acknowledged. Because they should not be waiting
Yeah.
to submit the application, right? They have trusted us with their money and information. We need to see that it gets through.
Yeah.
So if the college does not acknowledge within 48 hours, we refund and say you can reach out to the college directly. If they acknowledge, that means that it is in their process. It is under review.
Okay.
The student at the end of the day may be rejected. That's a different thing. Like how it happens today. You will apply, you may be rejected. That's a different thing. But they have to acknowledge that the application is in their system.
Okay.
In fact, we have gates for every stage. It is in review. Somebody is taking a look at it. Okay, you're called for an interview. Then there is shortlisting. All of those are different gates available.
Okay. And do you feel there's a pushback from colleges, or they're very happy accepting to be a part of a platform?
They are very happy. I mean, in fact, we have grown very quickly. I mean, we launched on March 12th with about 50, 60 colleges on board. Got to about 100,000 downloads in 70 days flat from across the country, which shows that there is a demand for something like this. And now we have already grown to close to 175 colleges on the platform in the last few months. I think by sheer growth perspective, we are growing very quickly.
Okay.
So colleges are very open because the whole purpose of college is not like any other commercial enterprise, right? They need an efficient way to be visible. And they really like what we are doing. It's a matter of trust. I mean, we need to take this, deliver to our promises, keep the trust, and then it will continue.
Yeah. Okay. Now talk to me about Bangalore. So I'm visiting Bangalore for the first time, right? And I want some recommendations where I can have the best food, right? And I would also want to touch it because I have a lot of friends who are Malayali who are, from Bangalore itself. And they tell me that Bangalore has changed in a way that, it feels that it's being commercially abused now.
Yes.
Right. So do you also have a same perspective since you have been here for 40 plus years now, right?
Yep.
So what is your take on it?
Yeah, it is true. And again, it comes back to the core problem that we are discussing, right? What is visible on digital, we feel that is the only thing that is out there. I mean, similar to the problem that happens with colleges. And what happens is some of the people who are most active on digital may not be the actual ones on experiencing things, right? While I'm not discrediting whatever is there online, maybe that's not the whole truth.
Okay.
Right? For example, I mean, I think it's okay to take certain names, right?
Yeah,
When you come in, there are ones that are very popular in Bangalore. Like you could look at Rameshwaram, you were just mentioning, right? You are aware of these places.
Yeah.
While they may be good, there are better places also, like the traditional joints here, right? For example, today I was thinking maybe you should try out the North Karnataka cuisine, right?
Okay.
There's a North Karnataka cuisine which is very different. Karnataka as a state, right? Each region has very different food habits. Like the south of Karnataka, what you see here, Bangalore, Mysore is slightly different. Coastal Karnataka is entirely different. The menu itself is different. There's no overlap. North Karnataka is entirely different because of the region, right? North Karnataka meal is something that you could try. I mean, there are joints. I mean, there's a place called Nalapaka near my place that provides a full Jowar roti meal. Maybe they don't come up so frequently on the searches there. Everybody is behind the ones that are there. The usual dosa joints here, right? No two dosas in Bangalore are alike.
Okay.
There's no standard Bangalore dosa.
Okay.
If you go there, the level of crispiness, the way the dough is put, whether it has the red chutney or not, how the aloo the bhaji is there is very, very different.
Okay.
Right? Some of the popular ones that you would already know is Vidyarthi Bhavan.
Okay.
Right? Udupi Krishna Bhavan is not such a well-talked thing, but Udupi Krishna Bhavan has existed for more than like 50 years.
Okay.
New Modern Cafe in again in Vivipuram, right? Vivipuram has a chat street where you can go. These are all like real local ones.
Okay.
You get overwhelmed. I mean, with so many varieties out there, it is impossible to have all of them on social media getting views and then you ranking it there.
Yeah.
Should not get into oversimplification. Depending on, maybe I'll take you out to a North Karnataka meal sometime, right?
Surely.
Try out different varieties of those. I'll give you a sample of 3-4 in different regions. Stick to the core Bangalore.
Okay.
Baswangudi, Jainagar, Malleshwaram.
Okay.
These are all the core parts of Bangalore. What you get there, you should physically go out and check,
Yeah.
not just on.
Okay, understood. And how did the Bangalore landscape changed in last, let's say, 5 years, right? When the startup boom happened, when cities, people are coming from all north, people are coming across India, right? People are coming here to do their own startups and everything, right? So how do you feel it has affected the city?
As a Bangalorean who has lived here, right? It's not the same Bangalore, but then that's the price you pay for development, right? But then it is also important to note that what does the development mean to the locals, right?
Okay.
Did they get better infrastructure? Did they get something better happen, or it went to the worst? From that perspective, I feel Bangalore has changed a lot. Like as a kid, I used to come back from school. I used to read books on top of a tree in my house. Like every house had like 2-3 trees. I could climb up a tree, and then we didn't have fans in the house. The weather was like great. Lakes were there. There were a lot of parks and all. Those have kind of reduced. Bangalore, I feel, grew too quickly for itself, right? Over a short period of time, it just expanded, and we could not plan the infrastructure, and we are facing the results of that. It's also not as bad as it is made out. I mean, on social media, when you see traffic jams and other things, right? It has restricted to certain areas. It's not uniform across. Some of the people who are in the core, uniformly, if you look at it, for the volume of vehicles that are going in, traffic jam is. I go to Delhi, I'm stuck in jams. I go to Mumbai, I'm stuck in jams. It's all there. Just that there are a lot more people talking about it here. It's also bad. I'm not saying it's great, but it can't become the benchmark for all of these.
Okay.
But what I've got here is, see, I've never left Bangalore. I never had to leave Bangalore. Whatever interest I had, I accomplished it in Bangalore. That's one of the flip sides of development, right?
Yeah.
Whatever I need to do. And I have looked at varieties of domains. I've been in healthcare, I've been in cloud infrastructure, I've been in AI, ML space, diagnostic space, low code. Did a whole lot of things, and I've all done it in Bangalore.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things you may not need to. It's the way you look at it, right? Maybe it's a good thing. It's not such a good thing. People who want to move, go out. Yeah, it's okay. It's got its pros and cons.
And you were the first ever kid also to talk to a NASA scientist. Is that so?
Yes.
Okay. What was that about? Tell me that story.
So way long ago, I think it was in '95. So there was a space shuttle that was orbiting Earth called STS-67 Endeavour. There were a bunch of astronauts aboard the space shuttle, and there was an opportunity for school students to interact with them directly. So the school where I was studying had this visionary principal who was also an amateur radio enthusiast. He had a grade 1 license in amateur radio, and he would take time to teach school kids also how to. I passed my grade 2 amateur radio exam when I was in 7th grade. So I am a grade 2 license holder then. So I got this opportunity to interact with the astronauts. There were a bunch of schools that were selected. We were the first school in Asia, first and probably the only one at that point, to be selected to interact. There were about 10 of us who spoke to the astronaut, asked a question and got an answer. It was exciting. I was in 6th grade then.
Okay.
Talking to an astronaut when she was in a space shuttle and getting a response for my question was like really exciting.
What did you ask? What did you ask her?
I mean, at that point of time, it was way beyond our understanding of space. My question was, what is the structure of the galactic supernova remnant that you're going to observe?
Okay.
So this particular space shuttle, right? The mission was to observe how supernovas, what happened to them, and observe the remnants of supernovas, right? So what is the structure of the supernova remnant that you're going to observe? For which she responded saying that when we look at the supernova remnants, we look at the elements that emit a lot of radiation in the ultraviolet spectrum.
Okay.
Basically, at that point of time, what it means is depending on the radiation that is emitted, you classify what it belongs to, right? It's fairly deep. As a school kid, I would not understand what she would tell. Nevertheless, it was a great experience. I asked a question, she gave an answer. I took some time to understand what the answer is. It was fun.
Okay. And looking at your journey, right? What would you advise to Prasad, who's just getting out of school and getting into a college? What would you advise him?
I mean, I think personally, if you look at it, right, I've had fun. Every stage, I got an opportunity to explore. Failed in a lot of things. Kind of succeeded in a few things.
Yeah.
So the advice I would give, I mean, I would not change anything that I would have done. Generally, be curious.
Okay.
Have passion in whatever you do, right? Whatever you look at it. Like, for example, I have varied interests. I was a sports person in school. I've played serious cricket, played under 16, was the captain of the under 19 team, played at school level, college level. Sports gave me a lot of my grounding that was there. Got into engineering, was in R&D companies, did core technical stuff, built some world's first products. Then I thought enough is enough. Let's look at how products are built. Got into product management. Took a break for 1 year. Did my MBA. Got into product management. Got into marketing. Then was a professional CEO. Now starting my own venture. Right. So I've done a whole variety of things. So I'm probably not a good template that way. I've just enjoyed whatever I've done.
No, you are. I would say you are the perfect template. that you fail fast, then you learn, then you adapt, and then you build something of.
No, I was fortunate to find the right people. I mean, right from my parents, they never questioned or they said, "Why are you doing this?" Or my household was generally more liberal that way. You take the responsibility. You do whatever. You're responsible for your life. Yeah. You fail, you're responsible. You are successful, you're responsible. And I also got a lot of people coming along with me, the right kind of people, right? My experience across companies, the right kind of folks who I could look up to, just that it all aligned. So if you look at my thing and then say, I'll go ahead and do that, probably it's not.
Yeah. Okay. And tell me, how does failure shape you as a person, right? Because you have mentioned that you've had failures in the past, and everyone has it in their journey. And I feel that is the most that you can learn from, right? Your successes are, just for, partying, and you'll have the gala the next day. But again, failures is something that, make you go back to your drawing board, figure things out, and then, do it in a way that you succeed, right? So how do you think failure has helped you?
I feel failure has been glamorized a lot because for somebody who has not failed, right? I mean, that's a very idealistic thing. I'll just give you an example, right? I was captaining the under-19 team once.
Okay.
It was a very important tournament and I used to play as an opener. In the first match of the tournament, which was supposed to be I got out first ball. Like the first ball of the tournament, I was the wicket. It was the first ball of it hit me so psychologically that how could, like the umpire asked, like, what did you do and all that. Generally, friends play, like, how could you get out first ball? And I got out. Yeah. What would you do? Yeah. The next match when I went out there to bat, this whole thing that I got out first ball was playing so much on my mind that I ended up padding up my first ball.
Okay.
And when you pad up the ball, right, you have like 90% chance of getting out LBW.
Yeah.
Didn't happen that day, fortunately.
Yeah.
So you fail all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think failure has been glamorized, right? Every day, like while coming here, I mean, you will come late. I mean, there's a traffic jam you get in. It's not, I wouldn't call it failure, but there are challenges along the way. And they shape you a lot. Just be resilient. It is not that a day will be like super easy, that you breeze through everything, you fail, certain things don't happen, but build the resilience to just stay on. Yeah. Successes will be far and few in between. All the other attempts that you have made you can treat it as failures or learnings.
Okay. And as a founder or as a maybe, I'll talk about being a PM, right? You make certain decisions that affect people's life, right? From your platform, you're kind of affecting people. Or you're just shaping them in a good way, right? For the better of them, right? How difficult it is to take a decision there, because that one decision can affect a lot of people, right? So how do you think, because this is your venture, right? You can fail, you can switch it back, right? But once you're also operating in a company, you were also CEO previously, right? So how does that happen?
So you'll have to start eliminating certain things. For me, fortunately, what happened was my grounding was in healthcare.
Okay.
And there I was building a system for radiation delivery for patients. If the radiation is not calculated properly or not delivered in the right way, the patient can get killed. Like the price you pay for a wrong decision is death.
Shit.
So I was groomed in an environment where you have FDA norms, you have to take some checks and balances. That kind of gave me a fundamental, it can't get any worse than that. Yeah. Right? A decision that you take, if people will die of that and you are groomed in that, then everything becomes like play. Yeah. I mean, after that, right?
Yeah.
Then after that, I moved into environments where okay, it's not as critical as you think, but that gave me a decision framework. Oh, how do you take decisions? It's not very critical. It's okay. You have a little bit of leeway to play this around. There are certain things which are non-negotiable. You shouldn't harm anybody. They should not lose money. It should not lead to these things, right? Where you are super cautious, you take time to take a call. There are a little bit of bandwidth in other decisions that you make. Not really critical. Yeah. I used to have a debate with my manager all the time when we were deciding, as trivial as colors for the website, right? Like we used to debate saying, is this color good? Or my take on that is, let it go out into the market. No, let people tell what is good.
Yeah.
If you have better traffic, if you have better views, if your conversions are better, I may not like the color, but people are liking it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, as marketers, that is what we should be doing. So for decisions like that, where you need market feedback, build it out fast as possible, set it out to the market, but keep your fundamental things tight, wherein it involves data, it involves somebody's privacy risk on all of these, right? There you are a little bit cautious. On other things, feel free to experiment.
Yeah, I'm getting this sense from you every time you're answering a question. You're also talking about the basics of it, right?
Yes.
That your basics needs to be really sorted. So that is something that as a core value you pursue it in your life.
Absolutely, because what happens is if you look at it in a certain way, right? I was talking to a colleague of mine about the whole boom in AI and thing, right? He said, I think the only two skills that you need in life are mathematics and English. He was not wrong if you look at it, right?
Yeah.
When an explosion of different derivatives happen, you always have to go back to the fundamentals. Do I know my fundamentals? Because that is what will help you gain ground.
Yeah.
If you look at evolution of technology, for example, just a couple of years back, it was all blockchain. Anything that you talk about is blockchain and crypto. Like that was the next big thing to solve the world's problems, right?
Yeah.
Nothing else was talked about. Now suddenly it has shifted to AI and ML, right? You can't be so generic, or you can't be so specific that you will be kind of not useful in a few years, right? So if your fundamentals are strong, you can adapt to any particular scenario.
So Prasad, also tell me about, this is a concept called early admission, right? Where people can apply early to colleges, right? What is that? Because I'm not aware about it.
So like I was mentioning earlier, one of the key things is we have to change our approach to how we look at college admissions. Earlier, the scale itself was small. You could wait till the results come and then shortlist colleges and then go ahead. Now, there are a lot more courses and specializations available, and colleges are not really bent on waiting for the results to come. There's a provisional admission. If you're already good and you know what you need to do, just like how it happens in the West, right? You can take up an early admission, get a better thing on the fees also. There are certain ones for good students, they give a lot of waivers and all of that, right? You can get admitted as in a provisional admission, depending on your results that will come in. That would take out a whole lot of load from students, right, on the exams. Because you feel the exam that I need to give is like this performance anxiety, right? If my future outcome depends on what I do in the exam. So if you start shortlisting courses earlier, apply to colleges earlier, you also get a decision from the college. You can go through this whole thing of examinations in a much more, less anxious way than it is today.
Okay. So this is something that you are offering on the portal, or
it is there. We have also brought it out wherein it is just like how you use Airbnb, for example, right? You could filter by various amenities, various kinds of things that are there. You can say the colleges that are offering early admission and it will be easily filtered, and you can look at colleges and then apply.
Okay. And then there is a traditional way of applying to colleges, right? I go to a college, I fill in their form and I apply it. And then there's this digital way that you are coming up with, right? That you can just come onto my app. I can literally download it right now. I can start applying to colleges, right? So how do I trust an app that is, bringing this to me, right? Because when I'm going to a college, I'm seeing their infrastructure. I'm talking to the educators there, right? So how do I trust the platform?
So I would suggest just come into the app, look at the app there, right? So all the colleges that exist on our app have signed a MOU and they have come on board, and all the data of the college is actually entered by the college. Okay. The fundamental thing about Appli, which is very different from what happens today, is that we do not collect data from colleges and put it out there.
Okay.
There is a unified front end for the students and there is a multi-tenant backend for the colleges. Each college has their own backend, wherein they'll say what are the courses available, what is the admission timeline, what is the application fee, what facilities they have, what kind of faculty they have, what is their profile. In fact, faculty can build their own LinkedIn kind of a profile on Appli.
Okay.
Right? It is as detailed as that. Because we as a company, we do not have resources to manage data. We don't want to get into as well. There are lots of colleges who will enter the data. We will give technology for this to be seamlessly available to the students.
Okay.
So when students come and see a college there and they know they can apply, it is actually entered by the college and they're on the platform to take the applications.
Okay.
That is where we also brought this escrow account thing, wherein if your application is not acknowledged by the college, the money goes back. Yeah. This is to emphasize trust even further.
Okay.
Right? And these are all colleges. It is just like, how do you trust Google today? Right? Yeah. Google brings out information from various ways, right? Yeah. We are similar to that.
Okay.
All the listing that is there, these are all colleges that have signed up with us and they have put their information themselves.
Okay.
So we are the only platform in the country that has 100% current data entered by colleges.
Okay.
There are lots of aggregators who are there where they take in the information. Most of the time, it is not up to date.
Yeah.
On our platform, it is 100% entered by the college. So it is as trustworthy as it can get.
Okay. And I think we spoke about getting a pushback from the colleges. But again, if I come back to as a student, right? Are there any certain, maybe as you talked about that there's a NAC certification for colleges, right? So are those also available on the app to see for the students to get
Yes.
to that college?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, for a college to come on board, what we do is there is some due diligence as well. Like they have to upload their certificates, which we will manually verify and then allow them to be listed on the platform. It's like some checks and balances that we do as well. Certificates are available only when it is available. We put that NAC rating out there.
Okay.
All the colleges NAC rating, NIRF rank, and the year of establishment is shown in a transparent way.
Also enlighten me on how the education has changed in the past, right? So now we see a lot of courses and specializations coming up. So can you also help me identify and enlighten me on that?
So this is one thing that is very interesting, and it personally was interesting to me. When I got into this particular space, right after NEP coming in, there are a whopping 650 plus specializations available across streams, right? Our time, if you go to engineering, there were probably 5 or 6 broad streams, right? Electronics, computer science, mechanical, civil. These were some of the streams that are out there. And there was a standard BCom, there was a standard BSc with some specializations, and a standard BA with few specializations.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised to know that BSc today has 146 specializations. All kinds of combinations, anything that you do. There is BSc honors, right, which give you computer science, which give you data science, data analytics, artificial intelligence, equivalent to an engineering. And BCom has 80 specializations.
Okay.
There's a BCom in supply chain management.
Okay.
There's a BCom in digital marketing. BCom in all kinds of flavors that is available today. How will a student know? It's not a straightforward BCom anymore. BCom towards AI, using AI tools to make your job better.
Yeah.
And Bachelor of Arts, BA has 113 specializations.
Yeah.
What we feel is if students start exploring this, they will find a course that more closely aligns to their core.
Yeah.
Right? They need not pick BA the way it used to be earlier. Filtering used to happen saying if you are doing very well, you are a science student. It was like there was a kind of a social stigma towards it, right? The best ones go to engineering and medical.
Yeah.
Okay, the next ones go to commerce, and it's not so anymore.
Yeah.
Even the brightest of students go to BA as well. In fact, that doesn't work today. Liberal arts have come in a big way. There is interdisciplinary majors available. You can take a major and a minor.
Okay.
I'm just making this up, but then if your interest is sports, for example, you could take a primary major in certain thing and a minor in sports. If music is your interest or arts is your interest, you could do something very technical and then take this as a minor available, which used to be available in the West. It was not available in India.
Okay.
Today, all of this have come in. Interdisciplinary majors is a big thing. So we are at a stage where students need to now explore. They can't listen to somebody who says, do BCom or BSc or this thing and then go with it. We can't go course first.
Yeah.
We have to go interest first, and that's how we have built Appli, wherein we ask them what is your interest and show courses that match their interest.
Yeah. No, I get it. This is very interesting because again, I feel a lot of people have glamorized being the top 1% or top 5% in the industry, right? Yeah. And having these many courses and then aligning it to your interest can actually be a pathway to become that 1% or the 5% of the industry, right?
Correct.
So that is something that is very interesting. And also, do you feel that, I'm not sure, but do you think this should also be, a very core problem identification and then solving by the government itself?
In fact, government themselves have enabled this. Okay. It is government that has brought in.
Okay.
If you look at it, gross enrollment ratio target has been set by government to move from 28% today to 50% by 2034. And all of the changes that they have made in NEP is in alignment with this.
Okay.
There are things like Swayam, for example, wherein you can learn your own courses and the government will give you a degree if you pass certain exams. Like you can build your own degree. That's also available.
Very nice.
You don't have to go through any this thing. Government has been very active. In fact, they have been building the framework. Educational institutions have also caught up.
Okay.
And industry is also collaborating. Like there is a college here which where there is a BCom from KPMG, for example. KPMG has built a curriculum to kind of structure a BCom where they look at it favorably if people kind of complete that. Yeah. All of them are working together. It's just that the whole magnitude of the challenge is so vast that it is difficult for any individual to comprehend that. But all of them are working.
And that is where Appli is helping.
Doing its bit to make it easier.
You spoke about the 25 rupee and the admission fee. Is there also an application fee that you guys are taking or the colleges are taking?
It works as is today.
Okay.
Today, if you have to apply to a college, you have to go to the website or go in person, and there is an application fee. Application fee ranges anywhere between 200 rupees to 1000 rupees, and each college has their own application fee. Depending on the level of the college, what they look at and all that, they want to talk to people who are serious. So they collect an application fee.
Okay.
So when you come to apply, what happens is you add multiple courses or colleges to your application basket, and there is a cumulative cost displayed to you.
Okay.
College A has 1000, college B has 500, college C has 200. It's 1000 plus 300 plus 200, which is 1500 in your application fee. Plus there is a 25 rupee each to the application, which is the convenience fee from us.
Okay.
Right? So you pay the total fee. The college application fee goes directly to the college. Only our convenience fee stays with us.
Okay.
So that is the total cost that somebody sees. Because that is like how the system works today. We are making it more efficient. Okay. In certain cases, what we are also doing is there are waivers that we are kind of negotiating with the college to see, can you give a discount kind of a thing, because there are volumes that could get in. And that we are happy to pass on to the student directly. Okay. Like whatever is the waived off application fee. There are certain colleges which have application fee as free also.
Okay. So, and our college is very supportive of that, like waiving off and helping the student?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as there is a method to madness, right? We say this is how it should be, this is how students are coming, they're okay.
Yeah.
In fact, something as simple as application form itself, we are probably the first ones to standardize this. Okay. Every college had their own application form. Some was 20 fields, some 25, some 35, right? When we went back to colleges and asked, do you need all this information? Somebody's taking a passport number, somebody's taking something else. You can always do that after the student enrolls, right? You don't need it upfront. Why do you need to collect? This is the standard application form that we are looking at, which will help you, saves time for both of you, right? You know whether the student is eligible or not. Student knows whether I can get into that college or not. After that, you take all the required details when you become more friendly, right?
Yeah.
So we're saying we have made a minimum viable application, and colleges were very open to this. Okay. Just that somebody had to take the lead, and we are the ones who took that.
Very nice. Okay. So Prasad, also tell me about, like, as a tier 1 citizen or a tier 2 citizen, I can still have the access to information, right? But when we go more deeper, like tier 3, tier 4, where the access to information is also limited as of now, and even the access to digital space is also limited, right? So how do you ensure that you also reach those kind of people, right? Like where their education, they have an aspiration to education, but they lack the resources, or they lack, certain ways that people do have it easy in the urban space, right?
Right. In fact, that is one of the core things that Appli is solving. Siddhant, if you look at it, web penetration in the country is about 10% today. And we from the city, we know how to see, just knowing how to, just going on Google will not help you, right? You need to know how to use Google. For example, you will be using certain ways. Going on ChatGPT, for example, you know how to write a prompt. I mean, that's something that we are privileged to kind of find that most people don't have. Web penetration is about 10%. Smartphone penetration is upwards of 70%, 75%. What was kind of interesting was at a +2 level, smartphone penetration is 95%.
Okay.
Right. And when we go to tier 2, tier 3, talk to students, they are very comfortable with the mobile phone. And they use all the apps. I mean, everybody is on Instagram, they use YouTube. Most of the ordering apps people use wherever the penetration is there. So using an app has become intuitive for tier 2 and tier 3. In fact, it is not even like before, wherein tier 2, tier 3 can get substandard products. I mean, in fact, from the first 100,000 people who came in, we found that the tier 2, tier 3 behavior is very different from a tier 1, right? And our app was kind of fine-tuned over the last few months to make it easier for them, to make it more easier for information, right? So what Appli will actually solve is, we put the power in the hands of these tier 2, tier 3 or remote people, right? Who do not even have the background. Their parents never went to college. If all they have is an interest and they want to find it, anybody from any remote part of the country will be able to find the best fit colleges for them. That's where we are working on. And it becomes easier on an app. I mean, coming from a design background, you know that it is very easy to get contextual information from the app than a general web, right? And we find that and then match it to. That's what we are doing with Appli. In fact, roughly 1/3 students came from Bangalore last time. Another 1/3 came from rest of Karnataka. Another 1/3 came from rest of the country. Roughly breaking the thing, right? And there was a case where a student from Jharkhand got admission into Bangalore. Somebody coming in from Srinagar was looking to come to Bangalore. Like
Very
small
interesting.
things. In fact, our first application came from a girl in Devnahalli,
Okay.
whose father is a farmer, mother is a tailor. She was the first applicant on Appli,
Very
right? And she
interesting.
applied to one college. We thought there are multiple colleges, and we solved that. It was interesting. I personally spoke to her to understand why she chose Appli. She said, your app is simpler than the college application form that is out there, right? I found it simpler to fill it on your app to make an application. That kind of validated all the hypotheses that we were
Okay.
looking at it, right? Just that we need to now reach
Yeah.
the broader set.
The broader set. Okay. And what are your plans on expanding? Like, how would you also, expand to like the Indian landscape? Like, again, people are coming from Srinagar and applying to Bangalore, right? So, are you also talking to other colleges in all across India so that they'll be registered on Apply?
So, we have just started now. We wanted to get a primary product market fit,
Okay.
right? And being in Bangalore, we thought Bangalore also interestingly has the highest density of colleges in the country.
Okay.
So per square kilometer, whatever the number of colleges are the highest in the country. So it was a good space to operate in. Now that we got our learnings from students coming in from rest of the country to Bangalore, we want to now scale countrywide. In fact, we have started some kind of work in Maharashtra now, some work in Tamil Nadu. But we want to do such a great job in Bangalore such that colleges will start coming in. In fact, now we have started getting interest from across the country. There are colleges from even Delhi coming in asking if they can be part of Appli. We have moved into an inbound kind of this thing.
Okay.
But in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll expand across the country.
Okay. And I also read somewhere that you have applied for a patent for the app and you have an exclusivity on this.
Yeah, kind of. That's another interesting journey. It happened over a conversation.
Okay.
What I saw was application as it is has not changed from inception. You take hundreds of years, right? What was an application? There were certain fields that you had to fill in. What is your name? What is your date of birth? Whatever.
Yeah.
And you fill in that information and you providing a supporting document and submit both together to somebody, whether it's a college or a bank or somewhere, right? That person will take in your application. They'll look at this field, they'll verify with this and then take it in.
Yeah.
Same thing got translated to digital, right? Wherein again the application, instead of writing it, you keyed in information, you attach documents and send it. I thought with the kind of technology we have today, the whole way of looking at it is rudimentary, right?
Yeah.
What you need to now do is you have sources of data where you have access to data. I mean, right? Colleges need to give their saying what is important for them. Somebody need not even fill in an application. Why should a student fill in an application? If you have the supporting documents always with you, you could kind of get it in all contextually, right?
Yeah.
So we have a unique way of providing a backend to colleges where they mandate certain things that are important for them, and technology solves it in a way how we get it from the supporting documents.
Okay.
For student, it's just instantaneous. They'll come, they'll provide. In fact, we have integrated with DigiLocker.
Okay.
And we fetch all the documents authentically from DigiLocker, their background and details, and we provide it to the colleges in a seamless way. So colleges do not even have to spend time to verify because all the data is directly coming from the boards. We have integrated with ICSE, CBSE, all the state boards, so that the information is all genuine. Okay. So this is the core patent. Like we are redefining applications.
Okay.
So where we are headed to is wherever there's an application, Appli will be there. So if you think applications, you have to think Appli. In the short term.
Okay. And how did the name came Appli? Because this is a very, I would say a very inherent way of saying applications, right? This is just the short form of Appli, right? So is that the story behind it?
Yeah, I mean, actually, we wanted to make it a verb, like where you say apply.
Yeah.
That's how we call it apply.
Yeah.
It also became a short form of application.
Yeah.
That's why if you see, we use the term interchangeably, right? Some call it Appli, some call it apply. Both are correct. In fact, right?
Yeah.
The original intent was to make it more like a verb. You won't get APPLY because it's a common thing. It is apply with an I there and technology in there.
Yeah.
But then it also shortens application.
Yeah.
So
And why do you think no one has looked at this problem? Because again, you broke it down so correctly, right? That there's a document, you verify the documents, and then again same thing happens on digital, right? Because in that sense also anyone could have looked at it, but this is so interesting that you just stumbled upon that problem and you're
Yeah, I
solving
mean,
it.
there are so many things out there, right? Even
Yeah.
if you see be out there physically, there are hundreds of thousands of problems that are not solved. It's just that that thing comes at particular point, and we were fortunate to kind of stumble upon.
Very nice. And as a person, if you just help me pinpoint 3 core values that you have, right? That if I take these out of you as of now, this is not Prasad, right? So these 3 values are something that I am very true to. What is that?
One of the core things that have shaped me is I'm a people's person.
Okay.
I kind of talk to people. Uh, um, I'm in communication throughout. Like right from my first job to now, whoever was working with me is in touch with me today. All right. I mean, networking and the personal connection that I have. I'm not at all digital. Like you can't find me active on social media. I didn't have an Instagram account till a few months back. In fact, I'm unable to use it still. You don't find me active on digital. I'm more of a physical person and a people's person. That is one. Second thing is trust and transparency. I like to like talk it out. Like really, transparency is something that I value. Where talk it out, be true to what you're telling, the transparency part of it. Then the third thing is the passion that I bring. Generally, I'm excited about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I kind of make conversations like trying to understand. So everybody who talks to me, it could be automotive, it could be sports, it could be business. Even in business, talk about design or engineering or anything else. I'm passionate about what I do. So if you look at it, these are 3 things that I would say: being a people's person, transparency and trust, and the other thing is the passion that I bring.
Okay. And this is the question I asked to a lot of mostly of my guests, right? Because I if I say that I would take even 1% of this conversation and apply it to my life, that makes my life 1% better every day. So that is something that I've done, and I've had a blast talking to you. Like it has been so insightful and it has been so good. Thank you so much again for doing this. So if you're watching this, please consider subscribing. Also go follow Appli wherever you can. The Instagram is in the description box. You can even check out the app. If you're a student, you can also go to Appli and apply for your colleges, and they'll help you out settle all your problems that you have, right? Thank you.